Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. Today I'm going to show you how to paint Santa Claus in watercolor. I did this watercolor card yesterday, and I was like, I don't know. And so then I thought I'd show you how to draw it in pastel, which I did. So if you want to know how to draw Santa Claus, look at yesterday's video. I'll have a link under the video to that. And I wanted to show you this paper I'm working on. It's Canson 100, I do believe. And I got a rough texture on one side and cold press on the other, but it's actually a very smooth cold press, so it's going to be really good for our skin tones. I'm going to take a little yellow ochre and a little burnt sienna. Going to make our skin tone there. I'm going to add just a little bit of ultramarine blue to kind of dull it a little bit so it's not so orangey. And I'm going to add that shadow color on the face, in any of the shadow areas, and any of the wrinkly areas here. Now I'm going to take just a little bit of the yellow ochre with burnt sienna on its own and fill in a little bit. And I'm going to add a little bit of crimson. Actually, I think this is a rose color that I have on my palette there. I have this Field palette. I've had this for a long time, and as the paints that came in it wore out, I just refilled it with my favorites, which sometimes I like alizarin crimson, sometimes I prefer I can't pronounce it, so I'm not even gonna try. So one of the rose colors, not rose madder, one of the more strong ones. Quinacridone? I don't know. I should not even going to attempt it. Yeah, not even going to attempt it. Certainly can't spell it. I'd spell it for you if I could spell it, but I can't. Add a little bit more rosiness into the cheeks there. That's a little too much rosiness. Let me wipe a little bit of that out there. And I'm going to go back in with a little bit of the shadow color, a little bit darker this time, while it's still wet so I can blend it in. Yep, Christmas is next week. I am really not prepared, but I thought I would do this just to warm up. This will be the last Christmas watercolor tutorial because I just know I am not going to have time for any others. I will be doing a Christmas gift wrap tutorial and a Christmas crafters and artist gift wrap or gift idea something or other video, hopefully. I promised I would, so I probably ought to. And then for the lips, I'm going to add a little bit of that rose color, and I'm going to add a little burnt sienna to it to kind of make it not look so much like lipstick. In the mouth, I'm going to do a little ultramarine blue and burnt sienna so I can kind of darken it in there. Hopefully that's not too dark. Everything dries a little bit lighter. And I'm going to use that same color, but I'm going to add a little more blue to it so it's really dark, to do the pupils in the eyes. I left a little sparkle for a highlight, so I'm not going to paint over that. And I'll let that dry before I paint the blue. I'm going to grab some of that rose red and the cadmium red, which is a little more orange. And I'm going to paint in the hat. I kind of ran out of room here when I was sketching it out, but I was just like, you know what, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it. It's not going to be perfect, but hey, it'll go on my watercolor rack next Christmas craft fair, I think. Somebody might like it. And I want to try to make a rough edge where the kind of fluffy trim for the hat is, so that it'll just kind of give it more of that, more of a realistic look there. And I can add a little bit of shadow by adding a little bit of a little more of that orangey red, the cadmium red, and a little ultramarine. It'll give me a very dull, dark brownish purple, and that can go right in there too and blend out. Not going to use. It's not going to be too much to paint this actually, because we don't have a lot of detail. That's why I didn't do the card that had all the presents and stuff in it, because I just couldn't get that done in a 20-minute video, and I don't have time to edit on a good day. Certainly don't have time to edit when it's a couple days before Christmas. I'm going to grab a paper towel right here. Oh good, I had one within reach. The mouth is getting a little too dark over there. I'll blot that out. When it dries, I'll add a little bit more color. And then to do the beard, I'm just going to make a really light gray using my ultramarine and my burnt sienna. Just gray it down. If I want it to be a little more yellowy, I can do a little more yellow ochre. A little yellow ochre in there. I don't want anything too bold. And I'm just going to go ahead and add the details. Separate the mustache from the beard a little bit. Just make economy of strokes here. You don't have too much paint, too much color on here, or it's not going to look like a white beard anymore. And this is, you know, very simple painting. I'm not going to get too involved. I'm just going to get him painted and get on with my next task of the day. I'm going to make a little bit cooler of a gray by adding a little more blue to do the trim on the hat. I'm just going to go in and throw a little bit of shadow in there and on the pom-pom. Then I'm going to go in with my wet brush and kind of spread it out a little bit. And I can blot it with a scrunched up paper towel to give it even a little bit more texture. And I feel like I need a little more work on the face, on the beard, so making a little more of that warmer color and just going in and throwing in some stray hairs. Maybe I'll use a thinner brush actually. I have a liner. Let me grab that. Here we go. As I dart across the studio. I spent some time this weekend cleaning and organizing. It was such a mess, but after the craft fair I like to get things cleared out. Anything I never finished, you know, the earrings you start, you know, get packaged up, and the resin pieces that you made in a humongous batch that you never really did anything with, those can go in a drawer that I call my UFO drawer, and that's where I put all my unfinished objects. Ah, goodness. Or I might make them into Christmas gifts, but sometimes you just gotta know when to let a project go, and I have several projects like that I'm gonna let go. Been there, done that, don't need to do it again. We're right to that lip there, where I had to blot it out. I'm gonna paint the eyes blue. My Santa, I got scary Santa here. He's not looking that That's a problem with the vintage Santa. Sometimes they look scary. And this very quickly painted Santa's looking a little frightening, I think. We'll see if this video ever makes it on YouTube or not. I need a little bit darker brown color here. Add some details to the face. Outline the eyes a little bit. It's hard to draw Santa, to do Santa with watercolor, not make him look too cartoony. My other one I thought looked too cartoony, but I did ask if you guys wanted the tutorial, and I did get several people that said yes, so I'm doing it. And this is looking really cartoony. What I think I'm going to do, I need to soften up some of the lines in the beard, so I'm just going to go over and just kind of brush over them with clear water. That'll help soften it up. I think maybe I'm going to I'll make a little wash. Just a really light gray color. I gotta turn this around. I gotta look at it, erase that up for a second. Just seems a little too stark in there. Sometimes you gotta look at it with a different perspective. I know holding my, artwork to a mirror sometimes is helpful. Sometimes, just looking at it upside down helps, or just taking a break for a while will help. I don't have time to take a break right now. I gotta get this show on the road here. The Christmas show. I got scrapbook calendars to make for my in-laws and my mom. I've printed out the calendar pages. Did that last night. I'm feeling like I'm starting to get get the process underway, but boy, oh boy, it sneaks up on you, this year especially. Alright, I feel like I want a little more definition in the beard. I'm gonna scrape in some hairs with the end of my brush. It's a great trick to get some quick detail and texture, and this is, you know, quick is my middle name this week. Because even though we register something as white, there's usually a lot of other colors in there, a lot of other shadows and stuff. I want to add some more shadows on the face. I'm going to do a little burnt sienna. Just kind of in that dirty puddle there. Turn it back around for you now that I've had a chance to examine it. And I'm just going to add in some more shadows because it was just looking a little too blah. And with watercolor, I mean, you're layering a lot of transparent glazes. I also think the cheeks need to be a little rosier. It's kind of like when you put on makeup and you might do a little contouring, you might put a little bit of, you know, bronzer on, you might put a little, you know, darker color under your cheekbones to make them stand out. It's the same idea when you're painting a portrait. You know, you can add, you know, enhance it just like you would if you're putting on your makeup. If you're a lady, or if you're a guy, hey, I'm not judging. If you're putting on makeup, it's the same idea. I always wondered that. I always wondered if men who did YouTube videos ever put makeup on, you know, because like it's quite a production. If I'm going to be in front of the camera, you know, it's, oh, well, I can't be wearing sweatpants and I got to put some makeup on. And, you know, I wonder if guys bother. They're just like, yeah, whatever, it's me. Because it doesn't seem like they bother. Probably doesn't seem like I bother either. It's probably a waste of time. It's like these great studio equipments or anything. The average YouTuber, like myself, the average schmo with a video camera. Alright, this poor man has lost his eyebrows. Oh well. I can go back in with some gouache later, some white watercolor paint, and give him some eyebrows. I wonder how this white, well, let's just see how this white watercolor paint in this little kit does. I usually don't use white, so as you can see, this little brick of white has never been used. Just clean it off. It's got some, I don't know, smudge on it from whatever else is there. I really don't think it's going to show up on there, but what the heck. It's not like I'm holding out too much stock for this particular project. Oh yeah, give him some eyebrows, that works, whatever. Seems to have some green in that little part for some reason. Very strange. I do feel like, wouldn't it be nice if we had a little green on this picture? Let's see, what do we got? We're at 12 minutes. You know what? I think that I might give this old boy a little sprig of holly. Let's see, where could I fit a sprig of holly in this very cramped picture? Maybe on his hat, perhaps? Yes, we can squeeze a little holly in there, I think. Let's just freehand it on there, shall we? Bloop, bloop, bloop. Bloop, bloop, bloop. That's what a holly sounds like, in case you're wondering. And we'll fill that in, and we'll scrape in some veins. And I really like to put more than one in there, but I don't know if I can humanly fit more than one holly in there. Let's see, can we fit another? I think we can. We can go right on top of that pom-pom. Let's do it, shall we? Bloop. Bloop, 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 bloop. All right, look at that. Okay, see, Santa Claus is coming to town with holly on his hat. We could have some holly berries in there. I guess if we're gonna do that, we're gonna put a little holly berry in there. I don't know if it will really stand out too much. Oh, and look, that paint is wet, and there it goes a-running. That was not smart, Lindsay May, but, you know, it's a week till Christmas. What are we gonna do? It's a week till Christmas, it's as good as it gets. Oh, well, there you have it. I think maybe I'll just throw in a little bit of red. You know, this is kind of like, you know, I've ran out of bullets, I'm throwing the gun. I'm gonna put a little red down here to just hint that that's his jacket. And I'm going to call it a day, quite frankly. I think that you'll be able to paint a Santa Claus competently, hopefully. Better than I can, probably. now that you've seen this. And for the YouTube viewer that said, you seem like you're totally over painting Santa Claus, I have to say, yeah, I guess I am. But that's alright. If you want to paint Santa Claus, you can go for it. I'm going to blot that red before it goes any further into my holly. Can always go over it later if I want to. And yeah, you know, keep messing with it until you get it just the way you want it. That's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. If you happen to enjoy this video, on the off chance, give me a thumbs up please and subscribe. Until next time, happy crafting.